Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about Rudy Giuliani, and it really does look like he's going to have to face the music, or at least one important movement in the music, which is he has really avoided to the point of contempt, literally, telling what his assets are. So he was required in the Shea Moss Ruby Freeman trial to provide his assets. Those are totally valid requests to make in discovery, especially in a case that involves, as his did, punitive damages. And he basically just flouted the order. He just never complied. And that's, in fact, the reason why the court sanctioned him and found that the defamation had been established and it was all just up to damages. Okay, but then they go along and he hasn't, there's basically next to nothing to go on, just a few statements in their own papers. He does next to no defense, and the jury, unsurprisingly, socks him for $148 million. And Moss and Freeman actually ask for immediate leave instead of waiting for the mandate to issue in 30 days. They want immediate leave so they can chase these assets before he disposes of them, takes them to a foreign country, gives them away, does some monkey business with them. But he gets the jump on them by declaring bankruptcy. And when he declares bankruptcy, you have to say what your assets are and what your liabilities are. And he cites liabilities of $153 million. Remember, he's been sued by people he was really close to before for not paying his lawyer bills. And he really does seem to not have two nickels to rub together, but he cites his liabilities almost entirely the judgment against him in the Moss Freeman trial. So 148 million there and 153 is the total. And his assets, he says, and you can ballpark this in a bankruptcy filing, are between $1 and $10 million. Okay, so now that gives him a lot of protection. It basically is a, complete stiff arm against any actions to recover. They can go, as they were planning to DC or New York, where he has assets, and present their judgment and say, give us the money. And they have to, they can't get it because he's now in bankruptcy. And, you can imagine overall, Giuliani, of course, a total rogue, but this makes sense. If somebody is really being chased by many creditors, that's what bankruptcy is for. Let them kind of freeze the linebackers and have a methodical distribution of the bones, as it were, whatever they have left, to their different creditors, and then they can move on with their life. You have a whole big plan. But in order to go through bankruptcy, you need to in fact, explain all your assets, and you need to do it under oath. So the bankruptcy proceeding, the first hearing is going to be February 7th, and the bankruptcy judge has now ordered Giuliani to show up and to testify, under oath, meaning if he lies, we're talking perjury and maybe even bankruptcy fraud, which is a separate felony. So if he wants the benefits of being bankrupt, I don't see how he gets out of it. Now, in general, he's been such a deadbeat and so erratic. You think that his overall strategy might be to just, try to lie low and wait as long as he can and string it out. And, but that point has now come with the bankruptcy. So I don't see how he gets out of it if he wants to stay in the bankruptcy system. So that means February 7th, Moss and Freeman hear exactly what his $1 to $10 million are. But, that's not very much, right? And we know he has that condo that he's put on sale, and that's several $1 million. Maybe we'll find out a little bit about his professional activities. Remember, he made a fortune basically advising different people in Eastern Europe. That's pretty much what was going on with the whole first impeachment. He was, trying to work for his nefarious side of the people in Ukraine, etc. So we should find out a little, and Moss and Freeman should find out a little. I wouldn't be surprised if there's not much left, $1 to $10 million, including the apartment, but he won't thereafter be able to claim things. And if it turns out that he socked away, $2 million in the Cayman Islands, that would then be a serious crime, a really serious crime that the DOJ would absolutely go after him for, if it turns out that he, takes a stand on the 7th and lies about it. So sort of maximum pressure. Now, he's been resisting a lot of pressure in a very bizarre kind of deadbeat way. But as someone who's now in bankruptcy, I think his day of reckoning is here on February 7th. We'll see if he tries to wriggle out, but I don't see what he can do if he still wants to have the benefits of bankruptcy protection. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.